Making It Personal with Bishop William Joensen on Iowa Catholic Radio and iowacatholicradio.com.
Welcome to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. I'm Kelly Mesher-Collins with the Diocese of Des Moines. On today's show, we're visiting with Father Fabian Moncada, pastor of Our Lady of the Americas Parish in Des Moines. He's going to tell us all about the history, devotions, and traditions of the feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is this upcoming Monday, December 12th. But before we get to today's interview, let's find out what's on the Bishop's mind.
We know that grand feast, not only for our Mexican and Hispanic friends, but for the church in the American continent. So obviously Our Lady bringing us great graces, and we'll look forward to talking to him.
Yes.
I've appreciated, and again, getting to different communities within the diocese. Last week, I was at Corpus Christi Council of Bluffs twice for the Diocesan Council of Catholic Women hosting their annual Vocation Appreciation Mass. So clergy of the area and women religious as well were there, and so it's always an affirming moment. And so thanks to those fine women of faith to host us, and kind of that complementarity of vocations that we're able. And then the 10th anniversary of the Catholic Foundation of Southwest Iowa, just to kind of commemorate that on Sunday morning. But again, a chance to be with those folks and to celebrate with them. Kind of acting administrator, pastor, Father Ross Parker has been there with Father Jake Epstein and doing a great job. Thinking about Father Ross, next weekend, the 17th and 18th, is kind of an annual opportunity for men who are considering the priesthood, considering a vocation, to come together to some reflection at the Jesuit Retreat Center in Griswold, Iowa. That's a marvelous spot, and whether it snows or whether the fall leaves are still evident on that way, it's a chance just to be together. Father Ross kind of coordinates that. Some reflections. I'll be present as well. Chance to just have some down-to-earth conversations for men. Some of those questions about priesthood, what this is all about, this rumbling in their hearts, and it's just a chance in a very informal and non-threatening way to just be together and listen to some of the seminarians and their vocational path. Obviously, everyone's path is unique, but I think there are also resonances for all of us as the Lord's call kind of comes to us, not to disturb us or to throw us off or to downsize our lives, but to liberate our hearts, to give us that peace that says, yes, I can take this step forward wherever God will lead me, and to respond to that call. So if you, anyone listening, and certainly men anywhere from college age up till their 30s, perhaps, would be a prime opportunity. You could email rparker@dmdiocese.org, and I'm sure we could accommodate you next weekend. So that would be great to have you there. And it's just also a nice way to prepare ourselves in the last part of Advent for Christmas and the peacefulness of that place and the beauty of God's creation and the beauty of Eucharistic time together in adoration. I think just really speaks to men's hearts. Looking forward to this coming weekend as well, the opportunity to be with the folks at St. Patrick's in Lenox, celebrating 150 years for them. Father Emmanuel Bassi, their administrator, hosting us for that. And then there's going to be a kind of an Advent prayer musical concert at St. Ambrose Cathedral. There's several concerts coming up in the weeks ahead, but this is one kind of sponsored with an international flavor, with the Burmese community, the Eritrean community, singing some of their music at Advent and Christmas. So, and then also the opportunity to support the prospect of some young people making it to NCYC, the National Catholic Youth Conference, maybe even World Youth Day in Lisbon, Spain next year. It takes place in late July, early August of 2023. So well represented on that. So invite the folks to consider that. And then obviously then we move into the vigil of Our Lady of Guadalupe that night. And I'll be present at Our Lady of the Americas Church, as Father Fabian has graciously invited me to have a little message before they start their pilgrimage going forward. So grateful to do that. I also just want to share some news that I shared with the diaconate community. We're going to, this past week, Deacon Jim Houston of St. Pius in Urbandale assumed the position of director of the Permanent Diaconate Program for the Diocese of Des Moines. So that's a new position, but kind of brings some coherence to all that we're about. And then Deacon Matt Halbach of St. Luke's in Ankeny will take the reins from Deacon Ron Myers as the director of their formation. So some new faces in these roles, but I think continuity of spirit, but also that freshness, that vocation, too, is something we want to call forth in our diocese.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. Welcome to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. I'm Kelly Mescher-Collins with the Diocese of Des Moines. On today's show, we're visiting with Father Fabian Moncada, pastor of Our Lady of the Americas Parish in Des Moines, to talk about the history, devotions, and traditions of the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is this upcoming Monday, December 12th.
Thank you for being with us, Father Fabian. See, Kelly, even just the very mention of your name brings joy and laughter in a good way.
Because I didn't pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, you're a man of great passion and spirit and kind of igniting. But pastor of Our Lady of the Americas Parish for how long? How many years now?
6 years and a couple months more.
Couple months more. Okay. Yes. All right. Well, obviously the renewal, grateful that service to the diocese and either. It's a dynamic ministry. It's nothing, where 2 days are never alike. I mean, I don't think any priest would say that, but a unique personality, if you will, the parish, but peoples of different homelands and things, as well as natives coming here to be together.
Absolutely. So we have the largest community in the Hispanic at the metro area. And as you mentioned, the majority of our congregation came from Mexico. Also, we had Salvadorians, Nicaraguans, Argentinians, Ecuadorians, Peruvians, Chileans, and Brazilians as well. And Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Always.
But you don't have Mass in Portuguese, right?
Yes. No, I don't. I just few Colombians, including the pastor.
So, yeah. So we don't want to just kind of blend and right? There are devotions to various appearances of Mary and everything. But here as we stand today on the feast day of Blessed Juan Diego, St. Juan Diego.
Absolutely. And as you know, in many of the Marian vocations in Latin America, the Blessed Virgin Mary is present, the Empress of America, led by Our Lady of Guadalupe. And today, San Diego feast as well, So we celebrate San Juan Diego, the indigenous Mexican Catholic convert whose encounter with the Virgin Mary began the church devotion to Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Tremendous. And 1531 this year. And
correct.
Yeah. And Juan was just a low-profile person, not a man remarkable in his community, but a leader perhaps of sorts.
And absolutely. It's very interesting, that kind of comment, Bishop, because sometimes the Blessed Virgin Mary did not choose intellectual people, sophisticated people, simple people, in this case, an indigenous. So that is a very proactive and a merit about a conversion, and at the same time, how the Lord manifests His glory to simple people like you and me. Sorry.
St. Bernadette and others as well. But I mean, and every time the story is told, new layers are unfolded for me. I mean, even in its simplicity, there's so much richness and texture to this. So St. Juan, was he already a man who had been embraced the Christian faith proclaimed by the Spaniards, and was he a catechist in any way?
So let's back to 1474. 50 years before receiving the name of Juan Diego at his baptism, a boy named Guagualatuacen.
Hey, bravo.
meaning in English, singing eagle, was born in the Anahuac Valley of present day of Mexico. Through rites according to the Aztec pagan religion and culture, he showed an unusual and mystical sense of life even before hearing the gospel from the Franciscan missionaries. Very interesting.
So he was a spiritual man. And
absolutely.
God had
it's something previous. It's providential how the Lord will be choosing simple people, but special hearts, no?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And already that inclination, that longing, the Holy Spirit already opening him up to the mystery that was proclaimed by the Franciscan missionaries as well. So baptized and already present.
In 1524, San Juan Diego and his wife converted and entered the Catholic Church. The farmer now known as Juan Diego was committed to his faith, often walking long distances to receive religious instruction. In December of 1531, he will be the recipient of a world-changing miracle.
Oh, and
the anticipation.
Is he on his way to church early in the morning?
Exactly. San Juan Diego, December the 9th, was hurrying to Mass to celebrate the feast of the Immaculate Conception. But the woman he was heading to the church to celebrate came to him instead. And this story of Our Lady of Guadalupe begins.
So, the patron of the Immaculate Conception, obviously the doctrine proclaimed later on, in that way, but already the national patron of the United States. But here we have something that transcends the national boundaries here, as Our Lady appeared to Juan Diego. Overwhelming. He didn't identify or recognize her at first.
No.
Okay.
No.
So Our Lady, subtle, respectful in her way, but also...
and always kindness, not scandalous. Always as a tender mother approach us, Mm-hmm. During the apparitions, the Blessed Virgin Mary said to Juan Diego, "My son, I love you. I desire you to know who I am. I am the Every Virgin Mary, Mother of the true God, who gives us life and maintains its existence. He created all things. He is in all places. He is Lord of heaven and earth. And I desire a church in this place where your people may experience my compassion. All those who sincerely ask for my help in their work and in their sorrows will know their mothers near in this place. Here I will see their fears, and I will console men, and they will be at peace." Wow.
Words worth pondering and praying over, and as he received them. So really kind of a new shoot shall sprout from the stump of Jesse, a new shoot in that of a church that she envisioned, that maybe his pilgrimage would be reduced in distance, but would be ever more, I think, attractive and inviting
to flourish a new experience with the motherhood of God in our life, Mm-hmm. I mean, it's present. Is present.
Mm-hmm. And did Juan say yes, right away, or was there some kind of coming to fathom what this meant, and how did the Blessed Mother, in her compassion, help him to come to even great faith and trust that this was a genuine manifestation?
This is a very interesting point, because nobody expecting that these kind of people will be access to that transcendental manifestation. The Blessed Virgin Mary continued talking to Juan Diego and said clearly, "Know for certain that I am the perfect and ever Virgin Mary, Mother of the true God. Here I will show and offer all my love, my compassion, my help and protection. I am your merciful mother, the mother of all who love me, of those who cry to me, of those who have confidence in me. I will hear their weeping and their sorrows, their necessities and misfortunes. Listen and let it penetrate your heart. Do not fear any illness or anguish or pain. Am I not here who am your mother? Are you not under my shadow and protection? Am I not your fountain of life? Are you not in the folds of my mantle, in the crossing of my arms? Is there anything else you need?" Wow.
Enchanting words, consoling words,
it's falling
like rainfall on one's heart.
It's the extension of the voice of God through the mother that always taking care of the childhood.
Yeah. So maybe just to step out of those words themselves, which are worth pondering. We have those because Juan recounted this then to someone who wrote these down for us to have today, that this was the message, or, and then communicating with the bishop. And maybe it wasn't Juan who was circumspect, but, bishops, sometimes, they're a little circumspect, hopefully not skeptical.
I don't go through, but I believe, but at the same time, it's very inspirational words that probably enlighten us a little bit more about encounter the Blessed Virgin Mary, and also invite us to be in the first line to enjoy that kind of presence and manifestation in our hearts as well.
Mm-hmm. So, her love for not only Juan, but for all of these people, her love as a mother of God. And Archbishop Luis Maria Martinez, the primate of Mexico in the 1930s and 40s, as he preached and reflected on this, he made the connection between the appearance or the coming together of the church fathers at Ephesus in 431, linking this with 1531, the awareness that Mary truly is the mother of God, not simply the mother of the human Jesus, but as a divine person, she is the mother of God. And she used those words herself in speaking to Juan Diego in 1531. And by the way, in 9 years from now, we'll be thinking about the 5th centenary of this appearance at Tepeyac.
And it still be new gospel, the good news again from the voice of the Blessed Virgin Mary to invite us to join Jesus Christ himself. That is very remarkable for us. And it's very interesting also the demographic exploration about this reality. It's in a completely illiterate community, illiterate people, that only open hearts and mind to receive the graces from the Blessed Virgin Mary. And San Juan Diego represents for us an ambassador of the migrants, not only in terms of minorities. I can speak about migrants in terms of all of us that do not know deeply our faith. And this kind of manifestation enlightens us more and more in open spectrum how God's love us, especially to the Blessed Virgin Mary.
Mm, mm. And I think you expand this circle of migrants, and I think, many people here in the United States identify themselves as having come here from somewhere else. And I myself would certainly be, second generation descendant. But we're on a pilgrimage, and a pilgrimage together that, we think about accompanying each other, as our Holy Father continues to speak of, but as always, Mary, Jesus, who are in our midst, sometimes in a very subtle, even hidden profile that they give us, but this manifestation. We should at least touch on the tilma and the significance there and the miracle then that sprung forth. It's a story that never grows old, and how the bishop was eventually led to believe and to verify that this was the woman who she said she was.
Always the bishop had been acting as a stewardship of the faith,
Mm-hmm.
So,
thank you. That's a kind way of saying it.
It's in a diplomatic manner to say, let me double check. Let me double check to be sure what happened here.
Trust but verify.
Trust but verify. You're right. So will be very interesting based on that request from the bishop what happened in the tilma. The tilma have very, very interesting data. Obviously, we don't have plenty of time to describe carefully. But the tilma defies the efforts of science to explain its creation. Regarding with this creation, no method and art of technology has been identified that could have produced the image. Like the Shroud of Turin, it is much like a photograph. The Shroud, a negative image, the tilma, a positive image. Regarding its survival, the tilma has survived for 500 years, despite being made of cactus fiber, which typically disintegrates in 20 to 40 years.
Now, that's something else I've learned here today. So,
for much of that time, it was exposed and covered to the heat, humidity, and sunlight of the church where it was displayed, as well as the veneration of the people. Nitric acid was spilled on the tilma in 1791, and it repaired miraculously with no external aid. How explain it that,
Mm-hmm.
Unprotected.
So it wasn't part of an analysis, the nitric acid.
Yes.
It was just an accidental.
But it's very unprotected. It survived unscathed the bomb attack in 1921, which damaged the altar and then a brass crucifix upon it.
And we know that was a era of great persecution.
Yes.
The government and the Catholics, the martyrdom of the Christ bearers and all who witnessed to Jesus.
And once again, the Blessed Virgin Mary shows that not hatredness, no discrepancies can conquer the love of the Mother to God through their beloved children, The position of the stars and the image conform to the constellation as they were on December 12, 1521, when the image was created. Recent investigations have shown that when the tilma is enlarged 2,500 times, the Virgin Mary's eye has the reflection of all the people who were present when the tilma was revealed to the Archbishop. How explain that? Mm-hmm. I mean, this kind of very unexpected data and at the same time extraordinary expressions only can conquer by love and faith. Mm-hmm. Even the science cannot prove that. Even still be a faith completely manifestation from God through the Blessed Virgin Mary.
And until the analytical techniques arose to discover and unlock these hidden depths of the image and all that's there. So, which I have not personally ever been able to see, but Our Lady of Americas will be carrying an image in pilgrimage this coming Sunday night. Yeah, December 11th. Yeah, as you make your way from Our Lady of the Americas to St. Ambrose Cathedral and the annual custom and pilgrimage.
And it's very interesting how you mentioned that, because the connection is the people of God wants to continue honoring the Blessed Virgin Mary.
We'll have to hear more after the break.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Spirit Catholic Radio. We're going to be back with Father Fabian to talk about Our Lady of the Americas and Our Lady of Guadalupe. Welcome back to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. We are back with Father Fabian Moncada to talk about the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
So obviously, as Blessed Mother requested in 1531, the Basilica was built and a place of massive pilgrimage. But let's fast forward to 2022, right here in Des Moines, and the pilgrimage that will take place from Our Lady of the Americas on December 11th.
Absolutely. Bishop, it's very interesting how the people educate myself in terms of the love, devotion, and fidelity to Our Lady of Guadalupe in our parish. Because pilgrim from Our Ladies to the cathedral represent for the community as a migration from my local church to the Episcopal Church or the Diocesan Church as well. And it's the same message from Our Lady that enlightens us to moving from our local affection and faith to the community and ecclesiastical faith as well. And this is very remarkable moment in our parish and our diocese as well. May I say that with all respect to another sister parishes as well.
There are other parishes that have pilgrimage. We're focusing on the epicenter of all pilgrimages.
Absolutely. And I mention this because the dress, the food, the music, the dances is not only for to be part of it. Is to express my gratitude, my love, my tender. She is my mother. She is my mother. When you approach the people that night with a very low temperatures and walking and singing and pray the Holy Rosary, you really said something happened here. And then when we approach the cathedral, almost full the cathedral, even if we have, as the last year, 500 people walking, we find more people at the cathedral. So more than full house is the spirit of the migrants that moving in terms of faith. And also moving us as a clergy, clergy, to set more in a pastoral approach to understand the culture, the way to conquer by faith many souls for God to the Blessed Virgin Mary.
And as a man in Christ, obviously your devotion to the Blessed Mother is already here, but as a Colombian now, your appreciation and your pastoral solicitude for your people, that this has become your own love expression that's given here, your own devotion in this way. As an image is born, right? They process with an image, and is it so large that it has to take turns with the image?
Absolutely. And we have, first of all, we have two big icons of Our Ladies, and obviously we have the statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary. We decide to move it in a trailer, the Blessed Virgin Mary, because people had been fighting to take the Blessed Virgin Mary, not in terms to be the movie star, but to have the Blessed Virgin Mary close to them. Mm-hmm. So this is a very remarkable moment, especially when we walk in, people is still pregnant women, babies, children, oldest, youngest. I mean, is the Church of Christ moving by the singing sounds of the Rosary and to praise God to the Blessed Virgin Mary. This is a very remarkable moment for me. Mm-hmm. In fact, in short, to be a short story, my older brother lived in Mexico. He lived in Querétaro. And he's in Mexico thanks to Our Lady of Guadalupe, based on the devotion of my mother. My mother was encouraged Our Lady of Guadalupe to helping her with him. And now he is established in Mexico for the last 18, 19 years.
Don't mess with the Blessed Mother. She has her ways, so very influential. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. The festivities that surround, obviously the Eucharist at the Central. We only have probably 30 seconds left here. But then does it continue on into the night after the midnight Mass? Or
after the midnight Mass, we have that daily Mass because normally our church is open because the people want to offer roses to the Blessed Virgin Mary. And pink and red. Pink and red is a manner and color preferred for the people to honor in Our Lady.
And obviously the music, the festivity, the food that surrounds.
Yes. Traditional Mexican food as that dresses traditional Mexican as well.
So our listeners, particularly in Central Iowa, but maybe from around, who might want to partake, they're just welcome to come. There's no feeling that they would be strangers in any way.
Strangers, Anglo, African, wherever. And remember, St. John Paul II, she is the Imperatrice of Americas. And Americas start Alaska until the Patagonia. So all America with the cover of the Blessed Virgin Mary.
Beautiful. Oh, may the night be filled with stars on Sunday night.
This has been another edition of Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen.
You can hear Making It Personal with Bishop William Joensen every week on Iowa Catholic Radio and iowacatholicradio.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and Making It Personal is provided by Sarah Vocations Ministry. Learn more at joinserra.org.